everyone, my name is Vijhay Ganesh. I run a restaurant called Maiyam Past Food and the chef and the founder of the restaurant. So I'll give you a little context of who I am and what I'm doing in this time of Corona. And to talk about my food in general, Maiyam Past Food, P-A-S-T, Past Food is a restaurant where we explore the time-honored and insights of cooking practices. We do take inspiration from traditions such as Ayurveda and Siddha, which is very heritage. Like it has so much value in where we are from. But I don't approach it as they stipulate or as the system works. Ayurvedic or Siddha system works because they were created in a time and space where there are no cars and there was so much species, biodiversity available, and then so many animals and so many insects available for consumption. And today most of them are extinct or they're illegal to be consumed. And so we do take inspiration from them, but then we approach it in a very modern context. So the modern context include how our lifestyle is now, what our body requires now, and what is available in the market. So if you think about it, there is so many diverse set of fruits and vegetables all around the world in every market that is unprecedented in this world. So how to cook with them, how to learn, what is their character, what is their flavor, what do they tell to you, how do they speak to you, how do you work with them? These are the things we keep in our mind when we create recipes. And we like to question our conditioned palate because we are conditioned by our home and by the government and by what is available around to like or dislike a certain things. But most of the time we don't know that there is so much things beyond what is conventionally available. So conventional food practices also we don't follow. We don't have any refined products in our kitchen. Everything is made from scratch. From the spices and everything, we hand pound them every day. I fell in love with these wholesome products, wholesome ingredients. I was obsessed about the quality of ingredient and how rich it feels in my palate and how rich it feels in my body after eating, because the moment we eat, it's pleasurable, it's enjoyable, and it is necessary. But how it settles down in your body, how you're able to move yourself, how your eyes move after every meal. So I take a highest quality of ingredient and I try not to add absolutely anything to it, not even water. That's the approach I take. And I also see the right combinations. Whether this combination is going to make it better or worse, or is going to give a medicinal property or a poisonous property, and how much I can play around for pleasure. These are the key points I keep in my mind. Any food that has come through exploitation or using very high resources is not good for you. Any food that has come to your plate by valuing the entire system, from farmers to traders to someone who cooks them to someone who eats them, everyone gets benefited. That's when a food is complete. You take sugar for example. A sugar needs a factory, and factory needs 1,000 other companies, and a sugar factory needs a different hierarchical system to work, and sugar marketing needs to cheat people to sell sugar to them. But if you take any other, let's take wild honey. Wild honey doesn't need any factory. It comes from a forest. It is harvested by small people who are self-dependent. They're not dependent on a large system. And it is packaged and sold in nice, and they speak about truth to you. They speak about the real value it gives to you when you have to buy them. They don't have to say some gimmicked marketing, some high-rise building where they have to sit and work on how do we sell this. They don't have to do that because the product is real and safe for you. They just can give it to you by speaking the truth. So I have been practicing this by myself of self-dependence by gardening. So from my garden I pluck tomatoes, brinjal, curry leaves, ginger, onion, garlic, and neem tree leaves, flowers and coconut water. I'm not asking you to, everyone is not lucky to have a garden. but you can do it in a pot in your house and by the window, and you can grow your own things, and then you can support this small people, a decentralized unit where you don't have to depend on large system, because when the large system falls, everyone falls together. But when everyone is self-dependent, nobody has to fall, everyone can support each other, and there's this invisible connect that propels us all together. So take this time and understand how this corona has showed us the problems of this modern system. So I would like to credit two main pillars of this journey of mine. One is TAC, who is the Health Awareness Center. That is the last workshop I attended because it gave me reassurance of who I am and what I am doing. And I highly recommend for anyone who is also looking for a lifestyle change. And my friends Ankit and Malavika PC for constantly being supportive in my journey and providing me this camera to shoot this, and also to be there and debate about food and constantly question me and make me feel uncomfortable and grow. Thank you all, and I also like to thank Keshav for providing me this platform to express myself. Thank you for that. Let's enjoy cooking now. So today I'll be cooking some recipes for you. This is a very good recipe for the corona time because we need to have a grain-free diet because grains promote phlegm and phlegm is a friend of corona virus. So I'm going to use only potatoes today and carrots and legumes and some mild spices. My knowledge and everything comes from South India, but slowly we are also exploring Italian, French, American. So we'll slowly evolve to the global cuisine. But right now I live here and I know this, and this is what I'm going to do. Let's start the cooking process and then we'll talk more. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to boil 2 pots of water. So as it boils, once it boils, we need to add other ingredients. So to give you a context about what I'm doing here, this is my house that you see. I've been renting this place. I'm very lucky to be renting this place for the past 1 year. And it's a 150-year-old house. It doesn't have running water, but it does have a huge garden and a huge living space and 3-4 bedrooms. So I've been self-quarantining myself in this space. I had so much stimulations outside in this life, and suddenly I was just put in this room and was faced. I mean, I was forced to face myself without my mask, and that not only affected me, it affected all my friends and family around, and their mask disappeared. I'm here to share how I dealt with it, so that it might help you also to sail through this tough time with a little bit of ease. And I've been cooking a little bit because I never had the time to cook much before, because I was running a restaurant and I was mostly the management side and my cooks was cooking, and I really left the practice, and this was a great time for me to get back to the practice and try some new things. And today what I'm going to share with you is also something that I experimented in this quarantine time. I'm sorry, I'm going to be looking into this once in a while because I'm not an expert in videos and this thing. This is my first time, by the way. So this recipe that I'm going to share with you today is a very simple one, and also it is important for this time because our bodies are not designed for grains, any seeds. So the moment we have grains, your body develops some sort of phlegm and mucus in our body that will attract, that is basically the friends of coronavirus. So avoiding them is a good option. So that's why I've chosen potato today. That is going to be the starch that will replace the grains and wheat or rice, anything. And then for fiber I have carrot, and for protein I have green gram. But yes, you can have meats and other things also depending on where you're from and what is available for you. So to give you a little more context about who I was before. So I was a corporate industrialist before. I manufactured crude palm oil with contract farming of with 700 farmers. And when I learned that
didn't fit in there, or it was not my cup of tea, because you have to cheat people every day and you can't be yourself, you can't listen to yourself. And I wanted to walk out of this corporate industry, and the corporate industry was not kind to me when they wanted to let me go. It was very depressing time for me, and then I did face depression, isolation, and anxiety, and all these problems. But that was also a blessing in disguise, because that's the time I shifted from conventional life practices to alternate. I found I found cooking. I fell in love with cooking in those times. I fell in love with natural materials, with artisans, and I got in touch with rural people, and I saw the real, genuine humans, and not the ones that are covering themselves always with the agenda of money in their mind. So that actually helped me in this time, because I was isolating myself for a year, almost 6 months. So whatever I did to come out of it also helped me in this time. So what are the things that made me feel comfortable with myself in this 40 days is gardening, cooking, reading, and writing. So gardening and cooking specifically, it needs that sort of time, space, and attention. You can call it love also. You need all this to do something interesting with it. But as my restaurant is just 2 years, just crossed 2 years this December. So I didn't have time for any of this, and whatever cooking we do, there's very little leave that we take, because when before opening the restaurant, I had so much time to cook and practice and come up with recipes. So when it came to cooking, for the first half of the quarantine, I didn't learn particularly anything to improve my skills. But I did. I'm pouring the green gram, by the way, when the water is boiling. But I did cook some simple recipes that I already knew, and tweak those flavors to activate my senses and to get in the rhythm and flow. And once that happened, I started to move slowly towards skill development. So I took inspiration from the Alice Waters and Massimo Bottura in their master classes, and after my senses were activated, started to sharpen my skills. I went beyond my territory. My territory is rice and legumes that grows in India, and I do work with 10-20 varieties of rice in a daily basis, working with different varieties of wheat, uh, and different varieties of different cooking techniques and practices, from sun drying to vinegars and pickles, and you know that India has a range of pickles, but then we don't use vinegar. But then bringing vinegar into the Indian cuisine, so I was mixing cultures, and that has been very inspiring for me, and I inspired myself also. And I'm lucky that I love cooking, and that has really helped me, because it's one of the basic necessities to do in this time. So yeah, what I'm making today, I'm sure you can replicate it at home with your recipes. I'm repeating this again. So feel confident. Feel confident about whatever it is. I'll tell you very simply. When we finish everything together, I'll tell you what are the things that to keep in your mind, and that you can do it in your own space. So right now this has been boiling for a few minutes. I'll put in the carrots, because I don't want to over steam the carrots. I just want to steam the carrots for about 5-10 minutes. So for the carrots, the dressing that I'm going to make today is a bit interesting one. So what I'm going to add is the shallots, a garlic, bit of ginger, and this is cumin. This is cumin. Pepper, And first I'm going to pound only the spices because they are harder ones. You can put it in a blender if you like, but I like doing this. I like a little more pepper. I can smell things. I'm activating my senses. My senses are telling I need more pepper right now. So there's no measure in cooking. It's very important. Yes. So now I'm going to add the softer stuff. So I'm just going to smell it and see what else I need. Ginger, garlic, and maybe I want to put a little bit of mustard. So this is what I have done in the end. Now the interesting bit. I'm going to add some oil. This is cold pressed sesame oil, and you can use olive oil or any other oil as long as it's cold pressed and whole. I'm going to add some Himalayan salt, pink salt. You can use kosher salt or any other salt that is not from and any unrefined salt basically. Try to use even black salt will be good. And another thing is lemon. Just a little bit. I wanted the ginger to pop out and it does. I can also add honey into it, a little bit of honey, which I'll do actually. Let me go and get my honey. I'll be back. So this is a very special honey that I got it from my trips to a region called Agum Bay. My 80-year-old grandmother sold this honey to me in a 180-year-old house where I was staying. And in this region, the flower that is prominent is called Mysore jasmine, and it's a beautiful thing. I can smell it already. So it has a very, very rich aroma. Just smelling it makes me smile. You can see that. So I'm going to add a little bit of it into the food. So if you think about it, it is a very simple ginger lemon honey with extra spices. So it's time to drain the legume. And this legume has been soaked overnight. So the green gram needs only 12 hours of soaking time. But when you see a double bean or any other bean, it depends, it ranges from 12 hours to 36 hours. The longest I have soaked is actually 48 hours, which is kidney beans. I had to change water every 12 hours. But soaking them for 48 hours gave them the soft texture that I wanted. This is a stone. This is a traditional cooking stone in South India, available in South India. So what they do is they retain the flavor of whatever you cook in them. So I use this only for legumes, any curries or anything, and I don't use anything sour in it because sourness, if the sourness taste goes into it, it will alter the non-sour things that I'm preparing. So every cooking pots that I use it for a specific purpose. Even this water what I'm saving here, I'm going to use it for making a rasam later. So by now I think the carrot is also ready. I'm going to check on the potato. They need a little bit more. So it just boiled, no salt, nothing. It is just boiled. And the way to know it is by just if you press, it should break. That's all I care. And it is very fast to boil because it's been soaked overnight. So for this, the tempering or the spices is very interesting because they're not going to use any heat in this. So the rules are simple. Take the required spice that you want. I'm going to again use pepper and cumin. Pepper, toasted sesame. So generally I would do this with coconuts, but I thought for most people coconut is a very rare thing, and any nuts is good actually. Not just you can use pine nuts if you like, you can use almonds if you like, you can use cashew if you like. Basically it should have some fat content and some fibers. So sesame has that, coconut has that, almonds, cashew, pine nuts, anything that, any flavor that you like, and you can use rosemary and thyme with almonds, even that will work. So again I am going to add some, see Indian cooking is very simple. To get an Indian flavor, all you need to do is add some ginger, add some onion, add some garlic. These three are very basic. And then pepper and jeera. Only this much, anything you do, it is Indian. And I'm going to use curry leaf because I just love it, and you can use any spice. You can use parsley if you feel like. You can use cilantro. So you don't have to restrict yourself to whatever I am doing. You can explore what is available in your place and cook with them. And this is the final product that I got. So you can even use this in a blender. You can make it in a blender, but in blender you won't get this. But if you make it in blender, please remember it has to be coarse, not fine. It has to be coarsely grinded. And I'm just going to toss it in this. And along with some salt. I always use salt in the end because it feels good in the body in the end. Using salt in the end, actually, a lot of people think that it doesn't taste good, but food is not something that is only for the mouth and the pleasure. It is also how your body responds to it, and how you feel after the meal for the rest of the day, which will allow you to make you feel comfortable with your body and happy, and not like junk food where you just grab a lot of burgers and pizzas and get that momentary lust and pleasure, and then 10 minutes after the food you just want to sit and dream and not do much work. That's not what we want from our food. We want people to feel good when they walk out of the restaurant. We want people to have a very happy day after every meal. So I'm just going to mix them all together. Yeah. And remember, for the times of Corona, in India at least the spices that is good for the lungs is ginger, pepper and cardamom. So I'm sure you'll get pepper in your vicinity, in all the supermarkets. Please have lots of pepper. And I also avoid green chili at this point because green chili is characterized to give acidity to the body. And at this point, we need to keep an alkaline body to have better immunity. So I always prefer using pepper, and green chili, I just like the flavor and I use a little bit, but not today. So this guy is done. Oh, one final important thing I forgot. Raw oil. So I added sesame, I pounded with them, and then I'm using sesame oil. If I use coconut in the recipe, I would use coconut oil. But that is up to me. You can decide what oil you want, but normally I don't like mixing different flavors together. I like to intensify, I like to concentrate these flavors together, that you get an experience that is like complex at the same time, very moving, because when you concentrate such flavors together, that experience is going to be special. It is going to talk to you only in those languages that you understand, and not put like, how would it be if I talk in English, Tamil, Hindi and Urdu and Sanskrit at the same time? That's not how we want. So he is ready. So let's check on the potato. Yeah, he's ready. So this water also I'm going to save it, because I'll cool it down and I'll give it to my animals. I have a dog, 2 dogs and 4 cats living with me. They are all adopted because they are just here, and I take care of them. And this is a nutritious water for them, so I don't waste them. And now the potatoes are already washed. I have washed them well, and I'm going to keep the skin. Normally people will remove the skin, but a potato is gassy in our body because we don't use the skin, because the skin also has so much nutrition in it, and it is good to include them in your diet, and you'll feel less gassy in your stomach. Now we are going to heat the oil. In Indian cooking, we always add mustard to the oil because It is said that whatever bad qualities we develop by heating a oil, because we are heating a fat there, the popping of the mustard will reduce the poisonous level of it. I don't know the scientific part of it, but this is a traditional wisdom, and we all follow it here. And the important thing is we should not allow the oil to smoke. Any fatty oil, including olive oil or anything that has a lot of fat, if you make it smoke, then its character is lost. I'm waiting for it to pop. There's a bit of jeera. And crushed pepper. And by now I'll just switch off the oil because it's too much heat. And I'm using an ingredient called hing. This reduces the gasiness in the body. When you have any gassy food like legume or anything, we add a little bit of hing in this region. It is from Middle East, and it has become so deep-rooted part of our culture in our cooking because most of our cooking produces gas, and we always compensate by adding hing. A bit of turmeric and a crushed garlic also. And see, the fire is off, but still it is cooking because this is a very thick pan. And when you use a thick pan, the heat is retained and it doesn't fluctuate in heat too fast, which is very good for cooking. Also add curry leaf. Just to extract everything and waste nothing. What did we forget? Salt. Why? Because we always add in the end. I love cooking. This is a recipe I just created in the initial days of Corona. We serve the same legume with this starch combination with the black rice. And because rice is not something that is advisable right now, I tried it with this and I liked it, so I'm sharing it with you. For the carrots, so we take the sauce and we put little, and then you can use your hand for this and just mix it. Done. Let's go proceed for the plating. I made a nice bowl with this potato. In South India, most of the India, we always use cilantro, a native variety of cilantro for garnish, but you can use parsley or any other, even mint or anything, any flavor that you like to explore. This is what we have ended up with. This is mashed potato. This is our starch for the day, and the legume, the boiled legume with mild spices. This is the protein of the day, and the